Your legs weaken first. Eat these 6 foods to strengthen them fast. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you find yourself across this vast and interconnected world, it is an absolute imperative that you cease all other distractions for these next few moments, as the insights I am poised to unveil possess the profound potential to radically transform the very essence of your movement, the quality of your physical sensation, and indeed, the entire trajectory of your life's remaining journey. Herein lies a fundamental truth, a vital piece of information that most medical professionals, constrained by time or tradition, will never utter aloud within the confines of their office. Your legs are not simply succumbing to weakness due to the inexorable march of time and the natural process of aging. No, that is a common misconception, a convenient but ultimately misleading narrative. Instead, your legs are progressively weakening because, until now, you have likely not been provided with the essential knowledge of precisely what nutrients they require to thrive, what fundamental elements they need to maintain their strength and vitality. There exists an immense, almost unbridgeable gulf between these two perspectives. One merely presents a sentence, a resigned declaration of an inevitable fate. The other, however, offers a powerful, actionable solution, a pathway to regain what you might have believed was lost forever. I am Dr. Alan Mandel, and today it is my privilege to deliver that very solution to you. We are about to explore 6 specific, scientifically validated foods, meticulously ranked from merely helpful to truly and absolutely transformational, each capable of not just preserving, but actively rebuilding your leg strength, meticulously restoring diminished muscle tissue, and ultimately giving you back the stability, confidence, and independence you might have tragically concluded were gone beyond recall. Now, before we delve deeper into this critical information, allow me to share a chilling statistic, a piece of research that truly stopped me cold when I first encountered it. A landmark study, rigorously published by the prestigious Journal of the American Geriatric Society, uncovered a profoundly concerning correlation. Adults over the age of 65 who exhibited significant lower body muscle weakness faced a staggering 72% higher risk of developing mobility disability within a mere 5-year span. Furthermore, this cohort experienced an alarming surge in fall-related hospitalizations, a distressing increase in nursing home admissions, and, tragically, a higher rate of early mortality, 72%. This is far from a minor statistic. It represents nearly 3 out of every 4 individuals who could have actively intervened, who could have altered their trajectory earlier, but were unable to do so simply because they were unaware of the revolutionary insights we now possess regarding nutrition, the intricate biology of muscle, and the specific ways in which the human body ages. And I can tell you right now, the number 1 food on this groundbreaking list is something you almost certainly have readily available in your kitchen at this very moment. It is something you may have, astonishingly, even been advised to actively avoid for years. Yet, researchers at the venerable Harvard Medical School now emphatically believe this very food to be one of the single most powerful muscle protective compounds accessible to humans over the age of 60. I intend to reserve that revelation for last, because once you understand its profound impact, you will forever reevaluate your grocery list and your perception of dietary fats. But before we immerse ourselves in the full list, I want to pose a deeply personal question to you. Please take a moment and leave a comment below, sharing your age and honestly reflecting on whether you've observed your legs feeling weaker, heavier, or perceptibly less stable than they once were. Perhaps the simple act of ascending stairs has become a noticeably harder challenge. Maybe you've experienced an unsettling near fall recently. Or perhaps merely rising from a comfortable chair now demands considerably more effort than it once did. I personally make it a point to read every single comment on this channel, without exception. And your unique story, your personal experience, might very well be the catalyst that allows someone else to discover this crucial video and, in turn, profoundly change their own life. So please, invest just 30 seconds and share your journey with me. Now, with that, let us commence our countdown. We are moving from 6 to 1, progressing from merely powerful insights to genuinely life-changing revelations. Coming in at number 6, and this particular inclusion genuinely surprises almost everyone I share it with, we have the humble yet incredibly potent egg. I understand completely. You've likely been inundated with the perennial egg debate throughout your entire life. They raise your cholesterol, they're detrimental to your heart, put them down, walk away. This has been the prevailing narrative for far too long. However, I am here today to emphatically declare, armed with the full weight of current, cutting-edge nutritional science, that this advice, particularly for adults navigating the landscape of life over 60, stands as one of the most damaging pieces of health guidance ever widely circulated and accepted. Because here is the undeniable truth about what eggs actually accomplish for your aging legs, for your overall muscular vitality. Eggs are, without exaggeration, one of the most complete and bioavailable sources of leucine found anywhere on the planet. Now, leucine is a crucial amino acid, and if that specific term sounds unfamiliar to you, allow me to offer a more accessible analogy. Think of leucine as the indispensable key that not only starts, but also powerfully ignites the engine of muscle protein synthesis. This biological process is the fundamental, intricate mechanism by which your body meticulously builds, repairs, and rejuvenates muscle tissue. Here's the critical nuance for older adults. After the approximate age of 65, your body begins to develop a physiological phenomenon that researchers refer to as anabolic resistance. This means, quite simply, that your muscles become stubborn. They no longer respond with the same efficiency or sensitivity to protein signals. To elicit the same robust muscular response, they now require a stronger, more potent trigger. Leucine, especially in the amounts found in whole eggs, is precisely that powerful trigger. Consider this. 2 large, whole eggs deliver approximately 1.6 grams of leucine, an amount that, according to groundbreaking research from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, was found to be entirely sufficient to meaningfully stimulate muscle protein synthesis, even in older adults who were exhibiting significant signs of anabolic resistance. But the unique benefits of eggs extend even further, far beyond their impressive leucine content. The yolk, that often demonized golden orb, the very part everyone mistakenly advised you to discard, is a treasure trove of vital nutrients. It contains choline, a critical nutrient for nerve and muscle function, a generous dose of vitamin D, essential for bone and muscle health, and a truly remarkable compound known as phosphatidylcholine, which plays an instrumental role in maintaining the structural integrity and optimal function of your muscle cell membranes. As we advance in age, these delicate membranes regrettably become more fragile, less adept at retaining the crucial nutrients that muscles absolutely require to contract efficiently and recover effectively. The yolk, therefore, essentially acts as a protective, nourishing coating for your muscle cells, bolstering their resilience. To throw away the yolk is akin to purchasing a high-performance automobile and then inexplicably leaving the engine at the dealership, rendering the rest of the vehicle useless. Allow me to share a poignant example. Margaret, a patient of mine, 74 years old and residing in Sarasota, Florida, sought my help after experiencing her second debilitating fall in a mere 6 months. She was, quite understandably, terrified of her own staircase. For over a decade, she had diligently adhered to a low-fat diet, completely eschewing eggs based on the well-intentioned but ultimately outdated advice of an older physician. We made a simple yet profound dietary adjustment. We incorporated 3 whole eggs per day into her morning routine. Within just 8 weeks, Margaret joyfully reported that she had walked up her stairs without needing to hold the railing for the first time in 2 years. This was not a mere coincidence. This was leucine, choline, and vitamin D working in perfect synergy, doing precisely what the scientific evidence unequivocally demonstrates they should do. For optimal results, aim to consume 2 to 3 whole eggs in the morning, ideally paired with a small amount of a healthy fat, such as a drizzle of olive oil or a slice of avocado, both of which we will discuss further shortly. This healthy fat significantly enhances the absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins naturally present in the yolk. A crucial preparation tip: do not scramble them aggressively in a dry, high-heat pan. Gentle heat and careful cooking methods are key to preserving the delicate integrity of these vital proteins. Moving to number 5 on our transformative countdown, we have wild-caught salmon. If your legs are frequently plagued by a persistent heavy sensation, if they regularly cramp unexpectedly at night, or if they ache noticeably when you first awaken in the morning, there is a very high probability that chronic, low-grade inflammation is insidiously and quietly destroying your precious muscle tissue while you sleep, a process you may be entirely unaware of. And wild-caught salmon stands as one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory weapons ever discovered and scientifically validated. The primary active compounds responsible for this remarkable effect are the EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. And before your eyes begin to glaze over at those acronyms, allow me to vividly illustrate what these compounds truly accomplish deep within an aging body. Imagine inflammation within your muscle tissue, not as a fleeting annoyance, but as a slow-burning, insidious forest fire, quietly smoldering for years, gradually charring and compromising every delicate fiber, every crucial connective tissue, and even the intricate nerve pathways that are supposed to flawlessly transmit commands from your brain to your legs, instructing them to move. EPA and DHA are, in this analogy, the advanced water-bombing aircraft. They don't merely soothe the superficial flames, they chemically neutralize the highly destructive inflammatory compounds, specifically a group known as prostaglandins and cytokines, which your body unfortunately produces in ever-increasing amounts after the age of 60. A compelling study conducted at the University of Aberdeen in Scotland meticulously followed 87 adults, all over the age of 65, for a period of 18 weeks. The group that consistently consumed omega-3 fatty acids, an amount equivalent to approximately 3 servings of wild salmon per week, experienced a remarkable 22% increase in their muscle protein synthesis rate when compared to the control group. 22%. This is not the result of an expensive supplement. This is the direct, powerful effect of a natural, wholesome fish. But salmon possesses yet another profound gift for aging legs, a benefit that almost nobody discusses. It is one of the very few natural dietary sources of vitamin D3, which is the biologically active form of vitamin D, a form that your skin, regrettably, can no longer efficiently produce after the approximate age of 70. Research published in the esteemed Journal of Clinical Endocrinology has unequivocally found that widespread vitamin D deficiency, a condition estimated to affect a staggering 77% of adults over 65, is directly and causally associated with pronounced muscle weakness, significantly impaired balance, and an elevated risk of sarcopenia, which is the precise medical term for age-related muscle loss. A single 6-ounce serving of wild-caught sockeye salmon delivers up to 988 international units, IU, of vitamin D3. Considering that the recommended daily minimum for adults over 70 is 800 IU, you can effectively meet or exceed your daily requirement in just one meal. Aim to consume salmon 2 to 3 times per week. The wild-caught designation is critically important here. Farm salmon possesses a dramatically different omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratio and simply does not confer the same potent anti-inflammatory benefits. For an added boost, pair your salmon with a handful of dark leafy greens to maximize the vitamin K2 synergy, a nutrient we will touch upon with our very next item. Number 4 on our countdown brings us to an item that holds an almost mythological reputation among dedicated longevity researchers: spinach and other dark leafy greens. I want you to take a moment and genuinely reflect on every elderly person you've ever encountered who moved with grace, who rose effortlessly from a chair without relying on the armrests for support, who walked with a confident stride rather than a tentative shuffle. I would confidently wager a significant sum that dark leafy greens constituted a regular, foundational component of their dietary regimen. Here is the intricate biology underpinning this crucial connection. After the approximate age of 75, your body unfortunately loses around 35% of its natural capacity to recycle nitric oxide, a small but immensely powerful molecule that functions much like a meticulous traffic controller, precisely regulating blood flow, particularly in your legs. When these vital nitric oxide levels precipitously decline, your microcirculation, the intricate network of tiny blood vessels responsible for nourishing your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and your calves, begins to experience congestion. This means essential nutrients struggle to effectively enter the muscle cells, and detrimental waste products find it difficult to exit. The inevitable result is muscles that fatigue significantly faster, recover much slower, and regrettably shrink year by year. Spinach, along with other nutrient-dense greens like kale, Swiss chard, and arugula, are absolutely loaded with dietary nitrates, which our body ingeniously converts back into nitric oxide through a sophisticated process involving specific bacteria residing in your saliva. You are, in essence, strategically utilizing food to bypass and compensate for a physiological decline that aging has otherwise exacted. A truly remarkable study originating from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden revealed that inorganic nitrate supplementation at doses equivalent to roughly 200 grams of spinach demonstrably improved skeletal muscle efficiency in older adults by a substantial 19%. The muscle itself didn't necessarily grow larger. Rather, it became profoundly more efficient at utilizing the oxygen and crucial nutrients that were already being delivered. Think of it like a meticulous upgrade to the fuel injection system in a classic older engine. The engine's fundamental structure remains unchanged, but it now runs incomparably smoother, significantly cleaner, and endures for considerably longer. Spinach is also extraordinarily rich in magnesium, a vital mineral that a staggering 68% of Americans over the age of 60 are chronically deficient in. Magnesium is absolutely indispensable, required for over 300 distinct enzymatic reactions throughout the body, and among the most critical of these is the precise mechanism of muscle relaxation. When your legs are suddenly seized by painful cramps at night, when your calves involuntarily tighten, or when your feet curl up unexpectedly, this is almost invariably a clear signal of magnesium deficiency. A single cup of cooked spinach delivers an impressive 157 milligrams of magnesium, providing approximately 37% of your daily requirement in just one serving. I recall a patient named Robert, a 71-year-old retired postal worker from Cincinnati, who came to me describing his legs as feeling filled with concrete every single morning. He had been diligently taking magnesium supplements for years, yet with consistently limited success. We fundamentally switched his approach, integrating 2 cups of sautéed spinach daily, prepared with a generous amount of olive oil and garlic. 6 weeks later, he joyfully reported that the debilitating concrete feeling was entirely gone. He was not only walking his old mail route again, but he was doing it purely for exercise, for the sheer joy and rediscovered freedom of movement. The olive oil, incidentally, plays a crucial role here, dramatically increasing the absorption of the fat-soluble compounds inherent in spinach. Always, without fail, cook your greens in a high-quality, healthy fat. Right here, nestled between our 4th and 3rd items, I want to pause briefly and ask you something vital. If this information has already served to illuminate and open your eyes to concepts or truths you were previously unaware of, please take a moment to hit that like button right now. Your engagement signals to YouTube that this video is valuable and should be shared with a wider audience of seniors who desperately need precisely this kind of empowering information. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I urge you to do so immediately. Every single week, I am committed to bringing you clinically grounded, eminently practical health information, meticulously designed specifically for adults who aspire to live stronger, live longer, live entirely on their own terms. The subscribe button is conveniently located right there. It demands only 1 second of your time, and it might just prove to be one of the most impactful health decisions you make today. Now, number 3, and with this, we are truly entering elite territory. Greek yogurt. Most individuals tend to perceive yogurt as merely a light snack, something consumed when one is consciously attempting to be good or adhere to a diet. What a vast majority of people fail to fully realize is that full-fat Greek yogurt is, in reality, one of the most anabolically powerful foods available to an aging human body, and it remains dramatically underutilized as an incredibly effective muscle-building tool within the senior population. Here is precisely why it unequivocally earns its place on this distinguished list. A single cup of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt contains approximately 17 to 20 grams of exceptionally high-quality protein. Crucially, it also boasts a specific, highly beneficial profile of amino acids, which includes, once again, leucine, alongside isoleucine and valine, collectively known as the 3 branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, that are directly absorbed into muscle tissue with remarkable efficiency. Unlike many plant proteins, which are often incomplete and necessitate careful combination with other foods to be fully utilized by the body, the protein found in Greek yogurt is what scientists refer to as highly bioavailable. This means it doesn't take a circuitous, scenic route through your digestive system. It goes directly and efficiently to where your muscles require it most. However, here's the profound piece of information that truly elevates Greek yogurt far above being merely a simple protein source for older adults. It contains live probiotic cultures, specifically beneficial strains like Lactobacillus, which exert a profound influence on something researchers are now calling the gut-muscle axis. This represents a relatively new and rapidly expanding field of scientific study, and the findings emerging are nothing short of extraordinary. Groundbreaking research from the University of California, Davis revealed that healthy and diverse gut microbiome populations in older adults were directly and robustly correlated with greater lean muscle mass, significantly improved leg strength scores, and a notably faster recovery rate from physical exertion. The gut, it turns out, is not simply a passive organ for digesting your food. It actively regulates how much of that ingested food your muscles can actually absorb and effectively utilize. After the approximate age of 65, the delicate balance of the gut microbiome typically becomes less diverse, less robust, and consequently less efficient at extracting the full spectrum of vital nutrients from the food you consume. Probiotic-rich foods, such as Greek yogurt, play a pivotal role in helping to restore that crucial diversity. Think of it metaphorically as meticulously restocking a once thriving library that has been slowly but consistently losing its books. The more complete and diverse the library, the better your body can effectively find and utilize the essential information, nutrients, it needs to perform optimally. For maximum anabolic benefit, aim to consume your Greek yogurt within 30 to 45 minutes following any form of physical activity. Even a brief, brisk walk qualifies. This time frame is often referred to as your anabolic window, the period when your muscles are most receptive and primed to receive protein signals for repair and growth. Consider enhancing your Greek yogurt with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for additional beneficial omega-3s, or a drizzle of raw honey, which contains natural enzymes that can further improve the survival and efficacy of probiotic cultures within the digestive tract. Always, and without exception, choose plain, full-fat versions. The low-fat or fat-free alternatives typically compensate for the removed fat by adding significant amounts of sugar, which unfortunately drives the very inflammation we are diligently striving to combat. Now we arrive at number 2, and I made a promise to you earlier in this video that one of the top items would undoubtedly surprise you. This is that item. Number 2, beets. I can almost visualize some of you smiling with intrigue, while others might be feeling a healthy dose of skepticism, and I completely understand both reactions. Beets are undeniably not the first food that typically springs to mind when contemplating strategies for building powerful, resilient legs. However, the sheer volume and compelling nature of the scientific research supporting the benefits of beets for physical performance in older adults is so robust and persuasive that major sports medicine institutions have now actively integrated beet-derived compounds into their sophisticated recovery protocols. This is far from being mere folk medicine or anecdotal wisdom. This is frontier science, meticulously applied to optimize the aging body. The primary mechanism of action centers on those very same dietary nitrates I previously discussed in the context of spinach. But beets contain these nitrates in concentrations that are remarkably higher, roughly 3 to 4 times greater per gram than any leafy green. A single medium-sized beet contains approximately 300 milligrams of dietary nitrates. When these potent nitrates reach the oxygen-depleted environment characteristic of working muscle tissue, they are converted into nitric oxide with extraordinary efficiency. The profound result is something researchers describe as a vasodilatory cascade, an expansive wave of blood vessel opening that literally floods your legs with a rich supply of oxygen and vital nutrients in a manner that aging vascular tissue normally cannot produce on its own. A pivotal study conducted at Wake Forest University uncovered a remarkable finding. Older adults who consistently consumed beet juice, an amount equivalent to 2 medium beets, prior to engaging in moderate exercise, exhibited an astonishing 38% increase in blood flow to the white matter regions of the brain specifically associated with motor control. Let me rephrase that for absolute clarity. Beets didn't just improve what was happening directly in their legs. They profoundly enhanced the brain's intrinsic ability to effectively control their legs. For seniors who are legitimately concerned about the risk of falls, about maintaining coordination, and about the critical nerve-to-muscle communication that often erodes with advancing age, this finding is nothing short of enormous. Beyond their nitrate content, beets are also exceptionally rich in betaine, a powerful compound that actively reduces homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine, a condition affecting approximately 47% of adults over 60, is directly associated with accelerated muscle loss, detrimental vascular damage, and impaired mitochondrial function. The mitochondria, often referred to as your muscle cells' power generators, are the very engines that produce cellular energy. When they become damaged or dysfunctional, your muscles operate inefficiently, akin to a car struggling with a failing battery. Betaine plays a crucial role in cleaning up the intricate cellular chemistry that protects these vital generators. Allow me to introduce you to my patient Elena, a 68-year-old from Portland, Oregon, who came to me after being told by 3 separate physicians that her debilitating leg weakness and chronic fatigue were simply an unavoidable part of aging. At 68, she was already relying on a cane for mobility. We made a simple, yet profound, dietary adjustment. We incorporated 2 roasted beets into her lunch 4 days a week, alongside a short, consistent daily walk. Within a mere 12 weeks, she returned to my office, triumphantly walking without her cane. She was gardening again, an activity she cherished. She openly wept as she shared her story, and I must confess, I found that moment profoundly moving as well. To prepare your beets for optimal benefit, roast them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius, for 45 to 60 minutes. This method concentrates the nitrates without destroying their efficacy. Alternatively, you can blend raw beets into a smoothie with a small amount of citrus juice. The vitamin C present in citrus dramatically increases the efficiency of nitrate conversion. Crucially, avoid boiling beets for extended periods, as water-soluble nitrates will leach out into the cooking water. Pair beets with any source of lean protein, and you will have created one of the most powerful pre-activity meals available to the aging body. And now, for number 1, the food that I tantalizingly mentioned at the very opening of this video. The food that researchers at the esteemed Harvard Medical School have unequivocally identified as one of the most potent muscle protective compounds readily available to humans over the age of 60. The food that has been, for far too long, unfairly demonized actively avoided, and tragically eliminated from the diets of millions of seniors based on outdated and fundamentally flawed scientific paradigms. Number one is extra virgin olive oil. I can sense that some of you might have anticipated a protein powder, an exotic superfood, or some complex dietary supplement. And I implore you to stay with me, because what I am about to meticulously explain regarding extra virgin olive oil and its profound impact on the aging muscular system will fundamentally reframe your entire perception of dietary fat, chronic inflammation, and the very architectural blueprint of a strong, resilient body. Let us begin by exploring what makes extra virgin olive oil categorically distinct and superior to every other dietary fat on the planet. It contains a truly remarkable compound known as oleocanthal. Oleocanthal is a natural polyphenol, a powerful plant compound that functions within your body in a manner almost identical to ibuprofen. It shares an identical mechanism of action, actively inhibiting the very same inflammatory enzymes, COX-1 and COX-2, that prescription anti-inflammatory medications specifically target. The critical and profoundly significant difference is that oleocanthal achieves this powerful anti-inflammatory effect without the associated risks of gastric bleeding, kidney strain, and cardiovascular complications that are unfortunately linked with long-term NSAID use. And for seniors who are disproportionately prescribed and medicated with anti-inflammatories for persistent joint and muscle pain, this distinction is not merely important, it is absolutely critical for long-term health and well-being. But the muscle-specific benefits of extra virgin olive oil extend far beyond its impressive anti-inflammatory properties. A landmark study from the University of Athens, rigorously published in Clinical Nutrition, meticulously followed 840 adults over the age of 65 for a substantial period of 3 years. The participants who consistently consumed a minimum of 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily exhibited a staggering 37% lower incidence of sarcopenia compared to those who rarely consumed it. Sarcopenia. Let me reiterate, that is the technical term for the progressive, involuntary loss of muscle mass and strength that typically commences around age 40 and accelerates dramatically after 60. A 37% reduction in sarcopenia risk solely from the consistent inclusion of olive oil. Here is the intricate biological mechanism, and this is the aspect that Harvard researchers have found most profoundly compelling. The polyphenols present in extra virgin olive oil, and there are over 30 distinct types, appear to directly stimulate what is known as mTOR pathway signaling within muscle cells. The mTOR pathway is, without hyperbole, the master control switch, the primary orchestrator of muscle protein synthesis. It is the very same pathway that leucine activates, that resistance exercise activates, and that anabolic hormones activate. Crucially, olive oil polyphenols appear to activate this switch independently. They do not necessarily require strenuous exercise. They do not require elevated hormone levels. They exert their beneficial effect within the cell regardless of other physiological occurrences. After the approximate age of 70, your body regrettably loses approximately 40% of its mTOR sensitivity. This means your muscles become inherently harder to build and maintain, not solely due to diminished protein intake or reduced exercise, but because the very biological machinery responsible for building them is operating at a significantly diminished capacity. Extra virgin olive oil stands as one of the very few dietary compounds that appears uniquely capable of partially restoring that critical sensitivity. Think of it like meticulously recalibrating a thermostat that has been set too low for an extended period. And then there is the crucial mitochondrial dimension. Groundbreaking research from the University of Jaén in Spain discovered that hydroxytyrosol, another powerful polyphenol found abundantly in extra virgin olive oil, provides essential protection to mitochondrial DNA within muscle cells from the destructive effects of oxidative damage. As we age, our mitochondrial DNA accumulates errors, much like a manuscript that has been photocopied too many times. The copies inevitably become fuzzier, and the instructions become corrupted. The devastating result is muscle cells that produce less energy, recover more slowly, and eventually cease to function altogether. Hydroxytyrosol appears to dramatically slow that insidious process of mitochondrial degradation by actively neutralizing the reactive oxygen species that initiate the damage in the first place. I want to share the inspiring story of Thomas, an 81-year-old retired Navy commander from Norfolk, Virginia. When he first came to see me, he had been entirely unable to walk more than 2 city blocks without being forced to stop and rest. His legs, he explained, simply refused to cooperate. His diet was clean, or so he believed, characterized by very low fat and very lean choices. He had diligently avoided fat for 30 years, strictly adhering to the dietary guidelines prevalent in his era, introduced a simple yet profound change: 4 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil into his daily routine, 2 in the morning drizzled over eggs, and 2 at lunch over vegetables. We made no other dietary or lifestyle changes for the entire first month. At his 6-week follow-up appointment, he joyfully walked 4 blocks without stopping. At 12 weeks, he was back on his bicycle, rediscovering the freedom of movement. At 6 months, he proudly completed a 2-mile walk for a veterans charity event. He sent me a photograph from the finish line, a truly moving image that I proudly display on my office wall. For practical application, 4 tablespoons daily is the evidence-based target. Utilize it as your primary cooking fat for low to medium heat applications. Drizzle it generously over vegetables, eggs, fish, and legumes. For maximum absorption of its fat-soluble polyphenols, pair it synergistically with foods that also contain fat-soluble vitamins: eggs, salmon, and spinach, all of which you now understand are already on this transformative list. That synergy is not accidental. These 6 foods have been meticulously chosen because they function together as an interconnected system. And when you combine them consistently, the cumulative effect on your leg strength, your inflammation levels, your mitochondrial health, and your overall mobility is dramatically greater than any single food can possibly achieve in isolation. Always purchase extra virgin olive oil in dark glass bottles from reputable producers. And critically, look for a harvest date, not just an expiration date, on the label. The precious polyphenol content naturally degrades with time and exposure to light. Fresh, high-quality olive oil is truly medicine. Old, clear-bottled, bargain shelf olive oil is, unfortunately, just inert fat. Now, allow me to bring this vital message home for you, because I want to ensure that you depart from here today not merely informed, but genuinely moved and empowered to take immediate action. You are fundamentally not built to become a passive passenger in your own life. You are not inherently meant to observe from the window, watching wistfully as your grandchildren joyfully play in the yard, unable to join them. You are not designed to cling desperately to the railing when descending stairs, to sadly skip a family hike, or to politely decline the invitation to dance at a wedding reception because you are plagued by the fear that your legs simply won't support you. That is not the destiny meticulously written into your very biology. That, my friends, is a tragic consequence of crucial information that was, until now, never fully given to you. And today, we have given it to you. It is never, ever too late to begin this journey. I declare this not merely as a platitude of encouragement, but as an undeniable, clinically established fact. Muscle tissue within the human body retains its astonishing capacity for growth, repair, and regeneration well into the 9th decade of life and beyond. The scientific research on this point is unambiguous, unequivocal, and truly inspiring. Your body inherently desires to rebuild. It is patiently waiting for the raw materials, the essential nutrients, to do so. Your profound and empowering job, starting today, commencing with your very next meal, is to provide it with those vital materials. 6 eggs, wild salmon, a bowl of fresh spinach, a cup of nourishing Greek yogurt, 2 roasted beets, and 4 tablespoons of the finest extra virgin olive oil you can possibly find. These are not extraordinary or esoteric items. They are readily available in virtually every well-stocked grocery store across the world, and they possess the profound power to give you back something that most individuals in your position have tragically resigned themselves to losing forever. That invaluable gift is the freedom to move through your own precious life entirely on your own terms, with renewed strength, with unwavering confidence, and with unadulterated joy. The scientific references for every single study mentioned and alluded to in this video are meticulously listed in the description below. I strongly encourage you to read them, to share them with your doctor, and to use them as powerful tools to advocate for your own health and well-being. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, I earnestly implore you to do that right now. Every single week, we are dedicated to bringing you evidence-based, senior-focused health content, the kind of crucial information your doctor may unfortunately not have the time to fully share during a brief 15-minute appointment. This community is rapidly growing, thriving because people like you are generously sharing it with the people they love, and that truly matters more than I can ever adequately express. And now, as we conclude, I eagerly want to hear directly from you. Please leave me a comment below. Tell me which of these 6 transformative foods you are going to actively add to your diet first. Tell me how your legs have genuinely been feeling. Tell me your story, because this channel exists for you, not in some abstract sense, but specifically for you, with your unique name, your personal history, and your particular version of this profound journey. I read every single comment. I mean that sincerely.